Sally, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
This has been quite opportunistic of me because yesterday I saw you speak on stage, and I've got to say so much of what you were saying resonates with what I'm trying to do, and it's just nice to get that reaffirmation because you're dealing in what I feel is like the corporate world because you're with a company with Microsoft, okay?
Yes.
And I just feel that when, and we'll touch on this, but when you're doing storytelling and focusing on value and trying to solve problems and have empathy, you know, there's so many companies that I feel that when I'm trying to help them and develop them, they're like, no, just get to the point, get to this, get to that. But there's so much to it, isn't there? So if we jump straight into this now, your presentation yesterday was on value proposition. And this is when people are trying to pitch and present to companies, yeah?
Yes,
yes. So I think the quick way to start this is, like, what are some of the challenges you see with people getting on stage and trying to present?
So I think one of the things that struck me when I was looking at some of the pitches is the lack of starting with, we do this.
Well, okay.
And I think putting out there what you do. Now, AI is highly complex, and in health and life sciences, we have a lot of science behind what we do. So it can be really complex, but out of the gate, you have to say what you do and why. And the why is really important. And so that was one thing. The other thing that I saw that was a little disheartening was that oftentimes the business model wasn't clear. They might say, well, we do SaaS. Well, okay, but who's buying? You know, so the business model is something that needs to be really crisp. And then the ROI, like, what are you trying to accomplish? What are you bringing to your customers that would incite them to want to learn more and eventually buy?
Yeah. Looking at your profile yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw a lot about strategy.
Yes.
On your profile, yeah, and I think that is something that a lot of people lack. They've got these sort of ideas, they've got these things they want to do, but there's no go-to-market, there's no focus, there's no strategy.
Yes.
So what are some, I don't want to say quick wins, but what are some things that people can look to do where they can really identify how to position themselves?
Well, can I do a shameless plug?
Go for it, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in 2024, I published a book called The Startup Protocol that guides early stage founders through the steps of ideate, build, launch, and grow. And I've had several people come up to me or message me and say, this is a how-to manual for those early stages. And so it's designed specifically for digital health founders. And it talks about things like how to develop relationships with what I call proxy customers, people who you meet early on who are bought into your mission and will walk with you every step of the way and help guide you in what that go-to-market strategy should be, how you might want to price your solution or build the business model. And so it's things like that. It's things like making sure your product roadmap, your regulatory roadmap, and your go-to-market strategy are all intertwined. Because if you over pivot on one, then you're flat-footed and can't deliver. So it's really, like I said, a how-to guide, and strategy is a very nebulous word. So I often talk with founders who have these kind of moonshot things, and it's like, it's great to have a big vision, but without executable steps to get there, you're never going to achieve it. And I literally know a founder who's been working on a single problem for like 25 years. And he's not brought anyone on, and he's just churning away and building clinical validation, which is great, but you don't need 25 years of clinical validation. He doesn't know how to bring it to market. And he's not asked for help. So I think knowing what you know and knowing what you don't know and gathering people around you who are bought in, whether they're business oriented, whether they're strategy oriented, whether they're financially and business model oriented, there are people who want to help. We all need to come together if we're going to improve healthcare globally.
Yeah, so there's two big parts you mentioned there. So one is like the how, which you'd be able to show with the book. But what you mentioned there is the who as well. Like, who are you going to bring on board? And a lot of the time, we've got these egos, and like we think we can do everything. And the truth is, the most successful people really are the ones that go, right, I need to bring people in. It might be a battle to get to that stage. But like, who can we bring in that's actually going to drive this forward? Because they don't want to give up their business. They want 100% of something, don't they? And you always hear these conversations.
Yeah, but oftentimes you'll have a clinician and this is some of the most successful startups, you'll have a clinician that sees a problem and wants to solve it and builds that vision, but then they will bring in a professional business leader to craft the company, to recruit, to set up the business model, and that visionary remains focused on not just the vision that they're building today, but what's coming next. Yeah. And so that has been a very good equation for a lot of companies in healthcare.
Yeah, that's interesting. There's a football team at the moment in England, a Welsh team that's been acquired by Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. I read about that.
So Wrexham, and it's really interesting because they brought in a manager who has got experience in the upper leagues, but they started in the bottom league. Right. So they thought, right, the main thing is here, when we get up, we need someone that's got that experience already. So it's one thing, there's always an experience and it's a chapter, and maybe some people need to leave where you are because they're not ready for the next part.
It's interesting that you say that because in my second book coming out in January called The Unicorn Protocol, I've interviewed 10 unicorn founders in digital health and documented their journeys so that we can continue the learning. And one of the companies profiled is Innovaccer. Okay. And the founder of Innovaccer told me, and it's in the book, that he would look for people to hire that he needed not today, but in 2 years. Which I thought was just a fascinating way to look at it and so incredibly innovative and helpful. Yeah. Which is what the football team did.
Exactly, because it's going to change.
Right.
And some people, like for me personally, somebody asked me to help a company. Startups are not really my sweet spot. I'm more like a corporate environment and developing people within that environment. And what's interesting there is like people go, well, startups are bad, corporates are bad, but they all have the pros and cons. Like with a startup, you've got to wear 10 hats, but you move quickly. Yes. Yeah, but with a corporate company, it moves slowly, but you've got 10 people helping you as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's kind of which one do you want out of that?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So looking at your profile again, just to sideswipe this a little bit, I found it really interesting that you do therapy with dogs.
Yes,
yeah,
I do.
I thought that was really cool. You've been doing that the last 5 years, so...
Actually, so I've been doing it for about 10 years with 2 different dogs, and the first one died at 14. She was a Husky Lab, 80-pound, just sweet as sugar. And now my therapy dog, and I take them to like memory care or assisted living or something like that. And the one I have now is a 7-pound Chihuahua that is the friendliest Chihuahua you've ever met. And his name is Quito, after Quito, Ecuador, where we had a big adventure there one time. Yeah. And so, it's just a way of doing something that I love with my favorite pet and helping people out, making them smile. I have so many wonderful stories about people who were really closed down as elderly. There's one instance I remember, a gentleman in memory care, every time I went by, his wife was visiting him, and he loved dogs. But he had his eyes closed and he was like, his hands were fisted, and she finally took his hand and put it on, it was when I had the big dog, put it on the big dog, and his eyes opened up and he stroked it, and the smile came on his face. Like, that's what it's all about.
No, for me, like, dogs are just, it's unconditional love.
Absolutely.
No matter how bad your day is.
Yes.
And there's this incredible cartoon, actually, which is this man goes out for a walk and he's helping so many people. And he comes home and he's got so much empathy, he's taken all of this darkness within him.
Yes.
And then he gets greeted by the dog. Yeah. And they cuddle, and the dog takes all the darkness off.
Yes.
And then because the dog is so pure, the darkness leaves him as well.
Yeah.
And it's just, the energy which dogs give. Like I've always grown up with boxer dogs.
Yeah.
And last
high
year,
energy.
Yeah. Well, we lost Cooper last year. Came home, the house was empty. And my brother has always done this. If one's passed away, we've gone out and got another one.
Yes.
Because my mum and dad would never ever do that. But it's my mum's best friend.
Yeah. Totally.
Friend. Yeah. I know we sideswiped there, but I think it's important to kind of understand the people we need around us as well. Yeah. Yes. So when we talk about Microsoft, I don't think most people always think of being connected with startups. I don't know. Maybe that's my perspective anyway. Maybe that's for the audience to think differently. Yeah.
No, I think that's true. For the longest time, the programs have been around for decades, and for the longest time, it was purely a technical experience. It was all about helping early stage companies use our tech, and that's still our underlying purpose. But we started what we call the Pegasus program, which is our industry lens, about 5 years ago. And because of that, we are now focused on our portfolio, our Pegasus portfolio, of both the technical excellence that you would expect, but also this go-to-market strategy, leveraging our customer network for our high potential startups.
Well, it's a whole knock-on effect, isn't it? Like if they're buying your technology, that's one thing.
Right.
But if they can't grow a business, then they're just not going to use the technology, and they're not going to use it, and then they won't renew, and so
when they're successful, we're successful.
Exactly, and it's adding value. It's an added value to them. And there's a guy in America that I listen to a lot called Russell Brunson, and he has a software, and it's about getting on stage and speaking to people, marketing funnels, but no one knows how to get on stage and speak. So he teaches people to tell stories because they now use his software.
Yes.
And he brings so much value to the community.
Right.
Like they're buying your software or technology, but the truth is, like, they really need those skills which you're developing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in some of the pitches that you saw people did really well. Some did really well with the storytelling, and others really struggled. And as a founder, telling your story, you've really got to get that down pat. You've got to practice. You've got to do it in front of a mirror, do it and record yourself, because you never get that second impression. It's always that first impression, and you want to be commanding, you want to be humble, you want to be self-effacing, but most importantly, you want to get the point across.
Yeah. I think a lot of people get caught up so much in what they're meant to do that they forget to look at the audience and adapt to the audience, to pick up on body language, and
be human.
There was a guy yesterday, and you said to him, like, you got your arms crossed, yeah? Now, for a lot of people, they might think, well, that's quite defensive. I was doing a training once, and the guy sat there for 2 days like this, and I was like, finally said to him, what's going on?
What's the
wrong?
deal?
He looked up, he goes, it's freezing, the air conditioning's on.
Yeah, it's not always what you think, but yes.
But it can ruin us, can't it, as well, because we look at that person and they've got a miserable face on.
Oh, I'm a yogi, and I used to own a studio, and I remember teaching a class, and this woman would come to the same class that I taught every week, like clockwork, and the whole time she was frowning, and it was like, and she just sucked the life out of me.
Yeah.
And so finally I got the courage one day to go up to her, and I said, do you not enjoy these classes? She goes, no, I love these classes. I said, well, every time you come, you've got this expression on your face. She goes, I'm not wearing my glasses, I can't see very well. And I'm like, oh, okay, I wish you had known that, 3 weeks ago.
And that's it, people, they have such an impact on us, and they don't even realise.
Yeah, right.
Like, we should be aware.
Yeah.
But then we've got to ask people as well, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
So there was a lady that came up to you yesterday, actually, after you presented, and she said, well, I've just seen all of your advice, and I think I've done mine completely wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think there's a big realisation on getting up on stage, but it's the repetition. And it's doing it again and again and again. And people see people on stage, and they're like, oh my God, you sound so perfect, and everything's so that's 1,000 attempts.
Right.
On making a mistake, realising that slide doesn't work, realising that doesn't get the attention from people, and changing.
Well, when I present, I try and remember that I have 3 things that I remind myself. 1 is I'm prepared. 2, I'm meant to be here. And 3, everyone here wants me to do well.
Yeah.
And I tell myself that over and over and over again, and then I practice a lot.
I think that's so important, actually, because the voice is in our head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, you're right. I ask myself, if I can be of value to somebody, am I being of value? Then it's actually my duty to be in front of people and help them and develop them. That's why you've got to go up to someone and approach them and try and get them on your podcast.
Yes.
So look, I know it's a busy day today for you.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know that you've got other stage things to get onto and other judging stuff to do. So I really appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
Yeah, how can people reach out to you? You mentioned a book that you've launched already and one that's coming next year.
Yeah.
So how can people reach out to you?
So those books are available on Taylor & Francis, which is the publisher, but you can also get them on Amazon.
Okay.
And the Startup Protocol is already there. It's been there since 2024. And the Unicorn Protocol will be available in January, but available now for pre-order.
Okay, great, wonderful. You'll share those links with me, and I'll put them all.
Okay.
Yeah, in the
great.
show. Yeah, great. So, Sally, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So the show is actually called Turning Point.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my 3rd attempt to start in a company, and I think we've reached those points in our lives where this is. So Sally, this is your turning point.
Okay.
Yeah,
great.
You.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
Take care. Thank you. Cheers. Okay.